Welcome to Little Motte. This video is going to show you the proper way to do a pre-trip inspection on an international.
This is the South Carolina pre-trip inspection here at Miller Motte. I'm going to go through and show you what you need to do. So the first thing you're going to do is ask the examiner, would you like me to chop the wheels before we begin? And they're always going to say no, we're on level ground. Then you're going to get in the truck using 3 points of contact. 3 points of contact have to be in 2 hands, 2 feet. So if I put 2 hands right here, 1 foot here, that counts as 3 points of contact. Step up, and I'm going to grab the steering wheel. That's still 3 points of contact. Step up, and pull myself in. Alright, so now we're starting the in-cab inspection. The first thing you're going to do is reach over, and you're going to grab your seatbelt. And you're going to say my seatbelt's properly mounted secure. It latches properly. It's not worn, torn, or frayed, and it's adjusted for me. I have 3 pieces of emergency equipment. I have a fully charged 5 BC rated fire extinguisher that's properly mounted and secure. Behind the seat over here, I have 3 bi-directional reflective triangles, and I have a variety of spare fuses. My driver window, my windshield, and my passenger window are properly mounted and secure. They're clean with no damage, obstructions, or illegal stickers. My plane and convex mirrors, these are the plane, these are the convex, on my driver and my passenger side are properly mounted and secure. They're clean with no damage, obstructions, illegal stickers, and they're adjusted for me. So I now perform a safe start. So to do a safe start, what you're going to do is make sure that you're in neutral. Your brakes are applied, that means that they're out. Okay, your foot's on the brake, and all you're going to do is turn the key until it starts. Right away you're going to notice that your ABS indicator light comes on and goes off, indicating that it's working properly. Then you're going to operate your windshield wipers, arms, and blades, and you're going to say that they're properly mounted and secure. They're not cracked, bent, broke. They're not worn, torn, or frayed, or dry rotted. They operate smoothly, as well as the washer fluid. Okay, you have to demonstrate that. Alright. Then next you're going to say my air, my electric, horn are working properly. Then you're going to go to your dash and go my left turn signal, my right turn signal, my 4-way flashers, and my high beam indicator are all working properly. Make sure that when you're doing this that you're touching the dash. Everything that you do, you make sure you touch, because if you don't touch it, they don't give you credit for it. Okay, so now you're already on the dash after you do your indicator, so all you do is go over to the left down the bottom. In this vehicle, this is the International. Then you're going to do your oil pressure gauge. Okay, you're going to say my oil pressure gauge is working properly. It's at the normal operating PSI, and the warning light is off. Then you're going to go up to your coolant temperature gauge and say that it's working properly. It's at the normal operating level, and the warning light is off. You're going to come down here to your voltmeter, and you're going to say my voltmeter is working properly. It's showing that my voltmeter's at 14.1, indicating that my alternator is charging my battery, and the warning light is off. Now you notice that it's fluctuating from 12.7 to 13.6 and all the way up to 14. No matter what it says, you always say that it's 14.1. Okay. Then up here you're going to do my primary and secondary air pressure gauges are working properly, and they'll build pressure to the governor cutout of roughly 120 to 140 psi, and there's no warning devices on. Then once you're done your gauges over here, you're going to come over here, you're going to turn your fan all the way on, turn your heat all the way on, and go to where you see your windshield and the foot of the person here. That's your heater and defroster. I'll put one hand under, one hand on top, and say my heater and defroster are working properly. Then depending upon what time of year it is, you want to turn it back. Okay. So now left here heater defroster, we're going to come down to do our tug test. Okay, so the first tug test you're going to do is a parking brake test. So you're going to mention my air pressure is 120 to 140 psi. I'll now perform a parking brake test. So what you're going to do is you're going to push, you're always going to put it in gear first, then you're going to release the red valve. Okay, then you're going to let off the brake. Test was successful. So now you're going to mention your air pressure again. With my air pressure 120 140 psi, I'll now perform a trailer brake test. So you pull the red valve out, push the yellow valve in. Test was successful. So now you're going to push the red valve in and tell the examiner that I'm now building my air pressure. Make sure you put it back in neutral. Okay. Now I'm building my air pressure between 120 and 140 psi to the governor cutout. So you're just going to rev it up until you hear the air escape. You hear that air, psh, that's to know that your air has escaped. So what you're going to do is you're going to then mention that my air pressure is between 120 and 140 psi. You're going to turn the truck off and turn it back on just till your dash lights are on. And you're going to say my air pressure 120 140 psi. I now perform an air brake leakage test. With my foot on the brake, I should not lose no more than 4 psi in 1 minute. Would you please time me? When the examiner says, okay, go ahead and go, you're just going to step on the brake and hold it there until your minute is up. Now, I do have to tell you, that's going to be a long minute. So we're not going to do the whole minute. This is just for demonstration. So as soon as they say, okay, your time's up, you let off the brake and you tell them the test was successful, because I did not lose more than 4 psi in 1 minute. Then you're going to tell them I will now fan my brakes down to no lower than 55 psi to activate my audible and visible low air warnings. So then you're going to pump them down. There's my audible. And see the red lights here? These are my visible. Okay. So then when that's done, you say test was successful. Then now I'm going to fan my brakes down to approximately 40 psi, where my tractor protection valve, which is my red valve, and my parking brake valve will close and pop out. Pump it down. As soon as they pop out, say test was successful. Now we're going to turn the noise off, and you're going to turn to the examiner and say, would you like me to perform or explain a service brake test? And they're always going to tell you, just explain it. So you're going to say, okay, I would build my air pressure between 120 and 140 psi. I'd pull forward at 5 miles an hour. I'm going to press on the service brake. I'm checking to see that the truck doesn't pull to either side, and that I come to a complete stop when I press the service brake. And then they're going to say, okay. And then you say, okay, would you assist me on checking the operation of my lights on both my tractor and my trailer? And then they'll say yep, and they'll get out. Now I'm going to check the lights on the tractor and the trailer. The main thing is make sure you turn the key on, headlights on, or the lights and turn signals do not work. Start here, that turn signal on the front of my truck, the side of my truck. Turn signal on the front of my truck, the side of my truck. Flashers on the front of my truck, to the side of my truck. Add the indicator. No read. There's flares and identification letters. Okay, we can move to the front of my trailer. To the back of my tractor. Okay, my left turn signal. Right turn signal. Flashers, brake lights, what you want to do is make sure you remove the key from the ignition and put it in your pocket. You're going to exit the cab using 3 points of contact. You're going to close the door, and then you're going to unlatch the one side. Make sure when you're unlatching it that it goes above so it doesn't get caught. You're going to step out to the front of the vehicle, looking under. You're going to say, I see no leaks or puddles coming from my underside of my engine or my transmission. Then you're going to point up to the clearance and identification lights are properly mounted and secure. They're clean and functional, not broken or missing, and amber in color. Then you're going to come to the side and place a hand here and a hand here. Say my left turn signal and four-way flasher are properly mounted and secure, clean and functional, not broken or missing, and they're amber in color. Come here, say my headlights, low and high beam, are properly mounted and secure, they're clean and functional, not broken or missing, and clear in color. Come to the other side, put a hand here and a hand here. My right turn signal and four-way flasher are properly mounted and secure, they're clean and functional, not broken or missing, and amber in color. Then you're going to unlatch this side. Again, make sure you put it over top. You're going to come to the front. You're always going to say clear for safety purposes. Make sure no one's around you. Say clear, and then you're going to pull the hood. Come around to the other side. Here we're going to do our hose, lines, couplings. So what you want to do is you want to touch your hose, your lines, and your couplings. These are couplings right here. And you want to say they're properly mounted and secure. They're in good condition. They're not worn, torn, or frayed. And I hear and see no leaks. Then down here is your alternator. You're going to point to it and you're going to say my alternator is properly mounted and secure. It's not damaged, not cracked, bent, broken, missing any parts. Right behind there is it's hooked to it is your alternator belt. Right here. You're going to say that my alternator belt is not is properly mounted and secure. It's not cracked, worn, torn, or frayed. And when pulled upon, should have no more than a 1/2 to 3/4 inch play at the center of the belt. And then we're done everything on this side of the tractor. It's the passenger side. So we're going to go. We start with our hose, lines, couplings. So you're going to grab your hoses, your lines, your couplings are properly mounted and secure. They're in good condition. They're not cracked, worn, torn, or frayed. And I hear and see no leaks. Then you're going to start with your coolant reservoir. Okay, my coolant reservoir is properly mounted and secure. Sight glass shows above the refill mark. It's at adequate coolant level, and I see no leaks. My power steering reservoir is properly mounted and secure. The sight glass shows above the refill mark. My hoses are in good conditions, and I see no leaks. My water pump, you just point inside here where you see this fan. Right behind the fan is your water pump. It's properly mounted and secure. It's not cracked, bent, broke, missing any parts, and I see no leaks. My water pump belt right here that I'm pulling on is properly mounted and secure. It's not cracked, worn, torn, or frayed, and when pulled by hand should have no more than a 1/2 to 3/4 inch play at the center of the belt. Come over here. This is my engine oil dipstick. It shows above the. You're going to go to like try to pull it out, and they're going to tell you not to. So just pull it out like that, and they'll say you don't have to pull it out. And you're just going to say this is my engine oil dipstick. It shows above the refill mark at a safe operating range with the engine off. Then you're going to point here. This is my air compressor. It's properly mounted and secure. It's in good condition. It's not damaged. It's working properly. It's not cracked, bent, broken, missing any parts. It's gear driven, and I hear no leaks. Then you're going to point down here, and all you got to do is follow this line from your power steering reservoir, and that would go down into your power steering pump right here. And you're going to say it's properly mounted and secure. It's not damaged, in good condition. It's gear driven. It's not cracked, bent, broke, missing any parts, and I see no leaks since it's liquid. Okay, then you're going to come out here to your steering. This is my steering column, not cracked, bent, broke, missing any parts. Okay, then you're going to come here. My steering gearbox is properly mounted, secure. Is not cracked, bent, broke, missing any parts. And the hoses are in good condition, and I see no leaks from my gearbox or my hose. My steering linkage, which consists of my pitman arm, my drag link, my steering arm, and my tie rod, are all properly mounted, secure. They're not cracked, bent, broke, missing any parts, or worn. My joints and sockets are not loose, and there's no missing nuts, bolts, or cotter keys. So now we're going to go to our suspension. My leaf spring mounts front and rear. I'm just going to point to the rear. Is properly mounted and secure. They're not cracked, bent, broke, missing any parts. I see no missing or damaged bushings. My U-bolts are properly mounted and secure. They're not loose. They're not cracked, bent, broke, missing any parts. My leaf springs are not cracked, broke, missing, or shifted, and they're properly mounted and secure as well. My shock absorber is properly mounted and secure. It's not cracked, bent, broke. It's not damaged, and I see no leaks. Okay, my brake hose lines and couplings are properly mounted and secure. Not cracked, worn, torn, or frayed, and I hear no leaks. My single brake chamber is properly mounted and secure. It's not cracked, dent, or missing any clamp, and I hear no leaks. My slack adjuster and my push rod are properly mounted and secure, not cracked, bent, broke, missing any parts, and when pulled upon by hand, the push rod should move no more than 1 inch with the brakes released. My brake drums are not cracked, dent, have any holes. There's no loose or missing bolts. My brake linings are not dangerously thin, and both my drums and my linings are free of grease and oil. Okay, this is my steer tire. My steer tire has no abrasions, bulges, cuts, or damage to the sidewall or the tread. The tread is evenly worn. The tread depth should be no less than 4/32 of an inch. If I had a tire pressure gauge, I'd go right down here to my valve stem so I don't miss it. And say, check the proper PSI, which would be 120 PSI for this vehicle. Okay, my valve stem and cap are not bent or damaged or missing, and I hear no leaks. My rim is not cracked, bent, broke. I see no illegal welds or rust trails. My lug nuts, you have to touch every single one of them, are all present. Okay, I see no distorted or cracked bolt holes. That would be around here, like this. Okay, I see no shiny threads or rust trails to indicate looseness. My hub oil seal is properly mounted and secure, and the sight glass shows it has adequate oil level, and I see no leaks. Then I'm going to come to my mirror bracket. It's properly mounted and secure. It's not damaged, and I see no loose or missing fittings. Okay, my door, my latch, and my hinges, there's 3 in here, 1, 2, 3, are properly mounted and secure, and they're not damaged. My door seal is not cut, cracked, or dry rotted. My door opens and closes from the outside. My steps leading into my cab are properly mounted and secure. They're solid and clear of objects. My fuel tanks are properly mounted and secure. The caps are on tight, and I see no leaks from my tanks or my lines. My longitudinal frame and cross member are properly mounted and secure. They're not cracked, bent, broke, missing any parts. I see no illegal welds. It's not damaged, and it's in good condition. My drive shaft and my couplings are properly mounted and secure. They're not cracked, bent, broke, missing any parts. And my couplings are free of obstructions. My exhaust system is properly mounted and secure. I see no cracks, dents, or holes. No carbon soot or rust that would indicate leakage. My air lines and my electric connector from my tractor to my trailer are not tangled, pinched, or hanging loose on the tractor parts. My air lines are properly mounted and secure. They're not cracked, worn, torn, or frayed, and I hear no leaks. My glad hands are properly mounted secure. They're in the lock position. They're not cracked, bent, or broke, and I hear no leaks. My electrical connector is not cut, chafed, spliced. I see no exposed wires, and it's in the locked and seated position. My headboard and my sideboard, or side of my trailer, are properly mounted and secure. It's not warped. I see no bulges or holes, and it will support my load. My trailer apron is properly mounted and secure. It's not cracked, bent, broke. I see no illegal welds. Okay, I see no lights or gaps between my trailer apron and my skid plate. My skid plate is properly mounted and secure to the platform. There's no missing bolts or pins, and it's properly lubricated. My platform is properly mounted and secure, so it's not cracked, bent, broken, missing any parts. My release arm is in an engaged position with the safety latch in place. It's not air powered. If it was air powered, you would see a hose on air hose on the front of it. So it's not air powered, and it's positioned so when making turns, my tractor does not contact or damage my landing gear. My bud rim is evenly spaced. I see that there's no debris or obstructions. My drive tire has no abrasion, bulges, cuts, or damage to the sidewall or the tread. The tread is evenly worn. The tread depth should be no less than 2/32 of an inch. If I had a tire pressure gauge, I'll check the proper PSI, which will be 105 PSI. My valve stem and cap, they're not bent or damaged, and they're not missing, and I hear no leaks. My rim is not cracked, bent, broke. I see no illegal welds or rust trails. All my lug nuts are present. I see no distorted or cracked bolt holes. I see no shiny threads or rust trails that indicate looseness. My axle seal is properly mounted secure. It's not damaged, and I see no leaks. My leaf spring mount, front and rear, are properly mounted secure. They're not cracked, bent, broken, missing any parts. There's no missing or damaged bushings. My U-bolts are properly mounted secure. They're not loose. They're not cracked, bent, broken, missing any parts. My leaf springs are properly mounted and secure. They're not cracked, broke, missing, or shifted. My shock absorber is properly mounted and secure. It's not cracked, bent, broke. It's not damaged, and I see no leaks. My airbag mounts, top and bottom, are properly mounted and secured. They're not cracked, bent, broke, missing any parts. My airbag is properly mounted and secure. It's not cut, cracked, or dry rotted, and I hear no leaks. My brake hose lines and couplings are properly mounted and secure. They're not cracked, worn, torn, or frayed, and I hear no leaks. My dual brake chamber is properly mounted and secure. It's not cracked, dented, no missing clamps, and I hear no leaks. My slack adjuster and push rod are properly mounted and secure. They're not cracked, bent, broken, missing any parts. And when pulled upon by hand, the push rod should move no more than 1 inch with the brakes released. My brake drums, they're not cracked, dent, have any holes, no loose or missing bolts. My brake linings are not dangerously worn thin, and both drums and linings are free of grease and oil. Okay, so I have my clearance identification light. It's properly mounted, secure. It's clean and functional, not broken or missing, amber in color. My DOT reflective tape from the front of my trailer to the rear of my trailer is properly mounted, secure, clean, with no damage, and It's red and white in color. My mud flat is properly mounted secure. It's not damaged. My DOT reflective tape, properly mounted secure. It's clean, not damaged, red and white in color. Okay, my kingpin is not bent or damaged, and the locking jaws lock securely around the kingpin shank. My torsion rod is properly mounted secure. It's not cracked, bent, broke, missing any parts. My left turn signal, right turn signal, four-way flashers, brake lights, and running lights are all properly mounted secure. They're clean and functional, not broken or missing, and red in color. My reverse lights are properly mounted secure, clean and functional, not broken or missing, and clear in color. So then I'm going to just turn right around to my landing gear. My landing gear and my support frame are properly mounted secure. It's not damaged, not missing any parts, no nuts or bolts. My landing pegs are not damaged, they're in an upright position. And my crank handle is locked in place. Left and right turn signal, four-way flasher, and running light, properly mounted secure, clean and functional, not broken or missing, and amber in color. My longitudinal frame, my cross member, and my floor, properly mounted secure. It's not damaged. I see no broken welds. I see no holes in the floor, and it will support my load. My air lines are properly mounted secure, cut, cracked, or dry rotted. They're not hanging dangerously low, and I hear no leaks. My release arm is properly mounted secure. It's in an engaged lock position. It's not damaged. If it was air powered, my tandem release valve is not damaged and I hear no leaks. My locking pins are in engaged lock position. They're not broken or missing. Inside for my bud rims again. My bud rims are evenly spaced. There's no debris or obstructions. My trailer tire has no abrasions, bulges, cuts, or damage to the sidewall or the tread. The tread is evenly worn. The tread depth should be no less than 2/32 of an inch. If I had a tire pressure gauge, I would check the proper PSI, which is 105 PSI. My valve stem and cap are not damaged or missing, and I hear no leaks. My rim is not cracked, bent, broke. I see no illegal welds or rust trails. All my lug nuts are present. I see no distorted or cracked bolt holes, no shiny threads or rust trails to indicate looseness. My axle seal is properly mounted secure, it's not damaged, and I see no leaks. My mud flat is properly mounted secure, it's not damaged. My arm bar and my arm bar tension spring are properly mounted secure, they're not cracked, bent, broke, missing any parts. My shock absorber is properly mounted secure, is not cracked, bent, broke, damaged, and I see no leaks. My airbag mounts, top and bottom, are properly mounted secure, they're not cracked, bent, broke, missing any parts. My airbag is properly mounted secure, is not cut, cracked, or dry rotted, and I hear no leaks. My brake air lines are properly mounted secure, they're not cracked, worn, torn, or frayed, and I hear no leaks. My dual brake chamber is properly mounted secure, not cracked, dent, or missing any clamps, and I hear no leaks. My slack adjuster and my push rod are properly mounted secure, it's not cracked, bent, broke, or missing any parts. And when pulled by hand, the push rod should move no more than 1 inch with the brakes released. My brake drum, it has no cracks, dents, or holes, no loose or missing bolts. My brake linings are not dangerously worn thin. and both my drums and linings are free of grease and oil. Okay, my ABS light is properly mounted secure. It's clean and functional, not broken or missing, and it's amber in color. My marker light is properly mounted secure. It's clean and functional, not broken or missing, and red in color. My left turn signal, right turn signal, four-way flashers, brake lights, running lights, and clearance identification lights are all properly mounted and secured. They're clean and functional, not broken or missing, and red in color. My door, my latch, my hinges are properly mounted and secure. It's not damaged. My door opens, closes from the outside, and latches properly. My door seal is properly mounted and secure. It's not cut, cracked, or dry rotted. My DOT reflective tape is properly mounted and secure. It's clean, no damage, and red and white in color.
And that is all